our song shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in three persons, blessed Trinity.
Thank you to Elliot, the drone ranger, for that incredible footage, which gives us a different perspective of St. Peter Port, filmed during the lockdown. I'll show you the rest of the clip in a few minutes. Today is Trinity Sunday, one of the only festivals in the church's year when we are not focusing on a particular event, but instead on a particular doctrine. It is an opportunity for us to shed some light and reflect on the nature of God as Father, Son and Holy Spirit. I think it is also statistically the most popular Sunday in the church's year for clergy to book a day's holiday. So I've come here this morning to one of the highest points in our parishes to try and get a better view, to at least try and get some clarity. The Christian doctrine of the Trinity holds that God is one God, but three co-eternal, consubstantial persons, the Father, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, as one God in three divine persons. Simple, but many people have tried to explain the nature of God. As the legend goes, St. Augustine was walking on the beach, contemplating the nature of the Holy Trinity. He'd been working for over 30 years on a grand treatise in which he sought to explain the rationality of the Trinity. After all, the Holy Trinity is a difficult subject that many people simply have a hard time grasping. And he, being a rational person with one of the greatest minds that the Church had ever had, hoped that he could be the one to explain it. As he was walking along the beach, he saw a boy running back and forth from the sea to a spot on the beach, carrying water in a seashell and dropping the water in a little hole in the sand not too far away. "My boy," said Augustine, "what are you doing?" "I'm trying to bring all the sea into this hole," the boy said with a big smile. St. Augustine looked at the hole, which was tiny, and said, "But that is impossible, my dear child. The hole cannot contain all that water. It is too small." "It is no more impossible than what you are trying to do, comprehend the immensity of the mystery of the Holy Trinity with your small mind." St. Augustine stopped and glanced away from the boy, surprised by the boy's response. When he turned back to the boy, he had vanished. I think it was just after this that Augustine wrote, "Si comprehendis, non est Deus." If you can understand it, then it is not God. Many others through the centuries have tried to come up with simple ways to explain the doctrine of the Trinity, but more often than not lead us down a path of one heresy or another. St. Patrick was renowned for his explanation using a shamrock or three-leafed clover, but even that has been brought into question. I have called on a few friends this morning now to question Patrick and his ideas.
Okay, Patrick, tell us a bit more about this Trinity thing.
Yeah, Patrick, tell us.
But remember that we're simple people without your fancy education and books and learning, and we're hearing about all of this for the first time, so try to keep it simple, okay, Patrick?
Yeah, real simple, Patrick.
Sure, there are three persons of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, yet there is only one God.
Don't get what you're saying here, Patrick.
Not picking up what you're laying down here, Patrick.
Could you use an analogy, Patrick?
Sure, the Trinity is like water, and how you can find water in three different forms: liquid and ice and vapor.
That's modalism, Patrick!
What?
Modalism, an ancient heresy confessed by teachers such as Noetus and Sibelius, which espouses that God is not three distinct persons, but that he merely reveals himself in three different forms. This heresy was clearly condemned in Canon 1 at the First Council of Constantinople in 381 AD, and those who confess it cannot rightly be considered a part of the Church Catholic. Come on, Patrick!
Yeah, get it together, Patrick.
Okay, then the Trinity is like the sun in the sky, where you have the star and the light and the heat.
Oh, Patrick.
Come on, Patrick.
That's Arianism, Patrick.
Arianism?
Yes, Arianism, Patrick, a theology which states that Christ and the Holy Spirit are creations of the Father and not one in nature with him, exactly like how heat and light are not the star itself, but are merely creations of the star. That's a bad analogy, Patrick.
You're the worst, Patrick.
All right, sorry. The Trinity is like this three-leaf clover here.
I'm gonna stop you right there, Patrick. Yeah, hold your horses, Patrick. You're about to confess partialism.
Partialism?
Yes, partialism, a heresy which asserts that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are not distinct persons of the Godhead, but are different parts of God, each composing 1/3 of the divine.
And who confesses the heresy of partialism?
The first season of the cartoon program Voltron, where 5 robot lion cars merge together to form one giant robot samurai, obviously.
I've never heard of Voltron.
Of course you haven't. It's not going to exist for another 1,500 years now, Patrick.
Yeah, get with the program, Patrick.
All right, I'll try again. The Trinity is like how the same man can be a husband and a father and an employer.
Modalism again.
All right, then it's like the 3 layers of an apple.
Partialism revisited.
Fine, the Trinity is a mystery which cannot be comprehended by human reason, but is understood only through faith and is best confessed in the words of the Athanasian Creed, which states that we worship one God in Trinity and Trinity in unity, neither confusing the persons nor dividing the substance, that we are compelled by the Christian truth to confess that each distinct person is God and Lord, and that the deity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is one, equal in glory, co-equal in majesty.
Well, why didn't you just say that, Patrick?
Yeah, quit beating around the bush.
On the front of your service sheet today is a picture of the wonderful icon of the Trinity written by Rublev. It is an incredible icon which probably gives us the best description of the Trinity without the need for words. For me, it describes unity, love, living alongside one another, not just as a coexistence, but an interdependence, sharing in moments of unity together. There is no need for words or symbols. In our time of lockdown, we've strengthened our interdependence. We've learnt how to be more united in our community. We've shown the spirit of what it means to be connected. We have, I think, slowed down enough to develop the ability to know what others might truly be needing. And then more often than not, we've actually done something about it. We've been allowed the space to love, the space to care, and maybe the space to flourish. This time of uncertainty and difficulty has given us a different perspective on our world. Suddenly there is a clearer, less congested view. You can keep the clever analogies and the complex doctrines. For me, God is love, and those who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. Back to Peter in the studio.